You were born into the world at the perfect time, and you were meant to thrive and prosper, love yourself, have a really great, wonderful, abundant life, and contribute to the world. And the only reason you might not have done that is that you just didn't discover who you were, or you were told something else that told you weren't going to become that person, but you can also unlearn that. That's the process of evolution that we each move through. I recorded a small video earlier today, and I didn't tell the full story because I felt constrained, as you might have felt. Or you might have thought that you screwed everything up in your life, or you made all these mistakes and nothing was going well. Or you might have looked at the world and thought, well, this is falling apart as well, so I must be doing that also. You are not. You're just coming to understand who you are, and this is the time that you were meant to do that. There's an organization in the world, in our universe, that we come to discover as we live. Different ones, different people will figure out certain things, and I figured out some of that, but I was denying myself as well. For years, I thought something was wrong with me. You might have felt that. And I just thought I must be completely out of my mind, instead of recognizing that I was given something as you were, that we were meant to bring to the world, and it was meant to happen now. The world is moving through an evolutionary change, which means that we're all being awakened to something within us that we didn't know before, or that we were taught something else. And it could feel like there's this big split going on in the world, but it's only happening within you, because we are the ones who are creating the world. And when we can love ourselves and come to understand who we are, then the world changes because we change. And I'm changing. The title of this was More of You Will Change Today. That was a message I received from Wilhelm on March the 17th of 2025. Today is the 16th. I receive information a year in advance. That's to show the organization that is in this world. That is something that no one has ever done before, so it was challenging for me to accept and for many others to accept as well. But there are times where we come into the world where we're meant to be unique, and we will do something that has never been done before, that has never been seen, and that has been my life. But we can also form shame and embarrassment because we've been told something's wrong with that, and that's what I lived through most of my life. And I just don't want anyone else to do that, because that's what's happening in our world now. That's why we're having wars, because too many people have forgotten who they are. And I'm given that information. I was given that information. But owning that was challenging. I kept hiding from it, as you might have hidden from yourself. I can no longer do that because the evidence is just too undeniable. And when you don't own who you are, all kinds of things just go wrong. You think that you're screwing up for a reason. No, the universe is just giving you signposts showing, no, go in a different direction. And that's what's happened for me. I was attempting to put out all this information to give people on my blog, and I completely screwed it up, and I have to now undo it. It looks terrible. I didn't know, because I don't know what I'm doing, because it's not what I'm supposed to be doing. When you do things that are not a part of your life path, things can go awry, and that's what was happening for me. Not owning this gift, not giving it to enough people, and then not prospering, not having enough money to hire the correct people to do everything that I need. I'm 75 years old. I've moved through everything that anyone can possibly imagine in life, and I've written it all down. I spent 37 years writing it down, and it turned into the first verified consciousness raising system in history. And that's what I was told, but accepting that was challenging for me, as your gifts might be challenging. And I say gifts because sometimes we don't think that that's what they are. I happen to know that that's true. When I started doing live channeling, it was never anything that I wanted to do, but I was given the direct guidance that the world was going to be moving through these challenges, and I had the information that could help people become who they're meant to be and could change our world. And I could say those words and people would think that's so ridiculous. How could anyone say that? But when you understand that all you have to do is move beyond your judgment and your limited thinking, that's each of us, then things change in our lives and in our world. But then we will have this power struggle. And it looks like it's out there in the world. It's within us. This has happened throughout history. And that's the information I was given. I was shown the cycles that we move through in history where civilizations change, but change only occurs in consciousness. That's all that it is. And so we have to decide if we're going to be the ones that are going to move to a higher state of consciousness. And I was given that plan. And so that's what I'm changing tomorrow. I'm recording this video on the 16th because, again, I receive information ahead of time, and it was impossible for me to unsee things. That's what will happen for you as well. You can't unlearn stuff. You just see it, and then you just decide if you're going to deny what you've seen and what you've learned, and then you have to incorporate it or integrate it into your being. Again, this is consciousness. And so if you think about self-actualization or personal development or ascension, if that's what you think about as well, the work that I've received through Wilhelm does all of those, and it's put them all together. And it's never happened before in history. But because of that, I was fearing it and hiding out from it. I can't do that because it's wrecking my life because I'm refusing to accept myself. And that would be you as well if you're not having everything that you want. That's all that it is. And I can show you, even on this date and the messages that you can see for the 16th, it shows self-acceptance and ascension are the same thing. That means when you can accept yourself, you've ascended to a higher state of consciousness and understanding. And then you're doing your duty and you're leaving a legacy because you're making a contribution to the world. We do not live forever. We come into these physical bodies and we're here for a while and we make a contribution by what we leave, by the information and its consciousness. And many times we've passed on consciousness to other generations that has been limited, that has been bigoted, that has been biased, that has been all of those things. And so we have to decide if we're going to be the ones to change it. We may not have believed that we could do that, but I know that we can because I've experienced it. Because there's also a thing that happens in mind-body healing. You'll discover that it's also about energy. Everything in the universe is energy and consciousness. And when you come into alignment of yours, things change. And this is why I said you were born at the right time, because there is an energetic alignment in your birth chart. When you were born, your DNA, every single soul. But over time, we've been taught something different, so everyone doesn't believe that and won't have that kind of consciousness. But I was given that. And it took me all these years to put it together and to show you, and it's been verified. We developed technology now where those things can be verified, even though I was experiencing it in my physical body. But the only place that I didn't fully embrace it was in accepting myself completely. That's all. And so that's what I'm doing. So that message, more of you will change tomorrow on the 17th, that's me. I'm accepting this because I know that there's no reason for any person to struggle or suffer. There's no reason for our world to look the way that it does because I've been given all of that information as well. It's just that I can't do it myself. So it needs to be so many other people who are going to decide that it's time for them to love themselves, to prosper, to give themselves everything that they want. And the energies of the world have just shifted on this date, on the 16th, that make that possible. And I do know that is true. That's why I'm recording this video today, because I want you to become your best self. And that's the information I was given. And that's what I'm now going to stop hiding from and give to the world. Years ago, I wrote something and I said, deciding I'm not crazy and my life makes sense. Because I started to understand all of this information and I couldn't explain it to anyone. And then I discovered I was a savant, which could be considered a genius or whatever, but that also causes us to hide and put things away. I can no longer do that. So that is why more of us will change today, which will be tomorrow. But I wanted you to have this today so that you can make that decision, because I'm going to work with those people who want to reach that highest state of consciousness that is possible within them, because we keep doing it. This was called, the work that I was given, called a living philosophy, because we keep building. We don't stop anywhere. Consciousness doesn't just end at some point. We just keep going as long as we're in these bodies, in physical bodies. And so that's what I am doing. And again, and I'll be the first to admit, I've messed up so many things because I could not own this. And that would be the only reason for you as well. The only reason you're not having the life you want is because you can't accept what is within you and your gifts, and not understanding the process to get there. I was given that process, which is called the solution to your life and our world. That's what I was given. Today is the day that we can own it. Thank you so much for being here. Please share this with others, because I do want many more people to participate in this work, because I know it will change their lives and your life. It'll change your life because you'll be so grateful that you gave it to them. I'll see you soon.